Good morning, friends. Today we will see the developments relating to recidivism. Recidivism as a phenomena raises certain questions which penology finds difficult to answer. The question essentially is, what is to be done to habitual offenders who repeatedly commit crimes in spite of the administration of reformative and rehabilitative treatment? That is to say, despite administering reformative and rehabilitative treatment, certain offenders, usually habitual offenders, continue to commit crimes. It baffles penologists as to the validity and acceptance of reformative theory of punishment. Recidivism is one of the major problems faced in the prevention of crime. Simply speaking, recidivism means repeating the act, persistence in committing criminal act. It refers to the habit of committing crimes in spite of having been administered correctional treatment. It also denotes persistence in crime. Recidivism means repeating. So the offender is in fact a repeater. He repeats the offenses, and that's why recidivism poses a serious question in the field of penology. It has been found most of the offenders are repeaters. In United States, studies have been conducted and it has been found that more than 50% offenders are repeaters. Now the question arises, what are the characteristics of a recidivist? First, a recidivist is a person who first has a long criminal record. Second, has been a frequent inmate of penal institutions. He frequently comes and goes of prison system or prisons. Third, he has shown scant regards for institutional adjustment. Scant regards for institutional adjustment, long criminal record, and frequent inmate of penal institution. These are the three characteristics of a recidivist. The presence of recidivism in the society shows that the reformation does not have a desired impact upon certain criminals. Now, we come to the causes of recidivism. What are the causes of recidivism? The various styles have been adopted in explaining the causes of recidivism. The problem essentially is complex in view of the personality of the offender and social circumstances or factors responsible for them. All criminals, it has been found, do not respond in the same way to the correctional treatment. They respond differently. Their response to correctional treatment so far has not been uniform. Obviously, it cannot be because the offenders, criminals commit different types of offenses. When the institutional treatment is administered, it has different impact upon different persons. The success of rehabilitative treatment depends upon the selection of criminal selected for rehabilitative or therapeutic treatment. Professor Wold also agrees with the fact that recidivism comes in the way of reformation. He classifies criminals into four categories: psychologically disturbed criminals. They can be treated in mental asylum or hospital. In prisons, they cannot be treated, or prisons are not the proper place for lodging psychologically disturbed criminals. They can be cured if lost, kept in hospitals or mental asylums. Second category, less educated and relatively unskilled criminals. Less educated and relatively unskilled criminals, by proper counseling and reformative treatment, may be reformed. Their reformation is possible. Third category is persons who identify themselves with law violators. For example, communal activities of political rivalry. Such persons are criminals who identify themselves with criminals or law violators cannot be reformed because their mentality, attitude cannot be changed. Fourth category is hardened or habitual criminals. Hardened and habitual criminals cannot be reformed. No amount of therapeutic treatment can cure them, and there is no chance of rehabilitation. Professor Goring says that there is a connection between low intelligence and criminal behavior. The persons who have low intelligence commit crime, but this finding has been disputed by Professor Zillin, who says that some offenses do not have connection with low intelligence. Some offenses involve skill. Maryland says some offenses require skill, and those offenses obviously cannot be committed by persons having low intelligence. For example, cyber crimes. Then Professor Sutherland identifies two causes of recidivism. First is social psychology of the offender, and second, inadequacy of reformative treatment. He says that recidivism is found more in urban areas. Urban life is more stressful, stiff competition, problems arise out of urbanization, they cannot be handled, slums have developed, high cost of living. These are the some causes because of which criminality or indulgence in criminal behavior by some persons go unnoticed, and this results in the persistence in criminal behavior, habitual criminality, and therefore they become habitual criminal. He further says recidivism is more found in male as compared to female. So men are more recidivist than women. It is also said that once a person is put behind the bars, two kinds of sentences are there. long-term sentence or short-term sentence. Both have drawbacks. Long-term sentence have deleterious effects on the personality of the offender and the person becomes worthless. Short-term sentences do not have desired impact. The person or the criminal who goes for short-term learns many more things there, and in fact he graduates in criminal behavior. So this also does not have desired impact. Then he says second reason is inadequacy of reformative techniques. It may be true because the contents of reformation, the syllabus of reformative treatment may be defective, or this should be based on individualized treatment or according to criminal. So he says reformative techniques have failed on hardened and habitual criminals because in India we know that a number of problems are existing in society. If reformation or reformative treatment is provided in prisons, a number of facilities will have to be provided. Those facilities are not available outside the prison. Many persons would like to commit some offense, whether major or minor, and to have 2 times of meals there. If we provide sports facilities, recreational facilities, and proper fooding, clothes, many persons would like to go. So reformatory techniques have their own drawbacks. Some authors have classified causes of recidivism in different way. These are 6 types. First, habit formation. Persistence of crime is merely persistence of habits. Therefore, the criminals persist even after official treatment, for example, drug addiction and drunkenness. Though official treatment has been given, yet they, after being released, continue that life. Second, isolation from law-abiding groups. In society, there are 2 types of groups, law-abiding group and law-violating group. When a person violates law, the law-abiding group of society is not willing to accept him back. The result is that it comes in the way of reformation of criminal behavior. On the other hand, the criminal group to which he belonged before going to prison is already there. He likes to retain him. Obviously, it comes in the way of reformation. Third is criminality in general society. Criminality in general society has increased. We also know about Vohra Committee report pointing out criminalization of politics, unholy alliance between politicians, bureaucrats and criminals. Gradually, there is increasing criminalization in society. When a person is punished, convicted of an offense, serves the sentence, and when he comes back, he finds that many persons who did the same act are moving freely in society. For a businessman crime, these are very common in society. White collar crimes, that is to say. So the offender, although may have been reformed, but he finds the same environment, and again he forgets about reformative treatment. Third, persistence of association and attitude. The fourth cause is persistence of association and attitude. If the offender attempts to reform him, that in society no one is willing to accept him, no one is going to offer a job, and therefore he is looked down by the general members of the society. Ultimately, he finds the best friends are the old friends, those who were friends during his criminal career life. Then, pathological traits of personality. There are certain traits which are responsible, for example, mental defectiveness, mental conflict, emotional instability, egocentrism, and psychosis, etc. Lastly, inadequacy of reformative treatment, which we have seen next in the lecture. Next lecture, rest matter we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.